Welcome to the Alsco Uniforms It Pays to Keep Clean podcast, where we discuss industry best practices, celebrate big wins, and share stories about Alsco's growth journey. Good afternoon, Russell. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. I'm doing fine.
Russell Harsch, Region 3, fairly newly minted Region 3 manager for Alsco Uniforms. And when I've kind of lost track of time this year, it seems like.
Me too.
It's been
a fun ride.
So when did you take over the role?
I believe it was the second week of February.
Okay.
So, I don't know, right at about 5 months.
Okay. All right. And does it feel like it's been 5 years already?
It feels like it's been a lot longer than 5 months.
Okay.
So it's been an action-packed, exciting 5 months, and I've met a lot of new people and a lot of great leaders. We joked earlier. There's a lot of challenges in Region 3, but I'm pleasantly surprised by the leadership team. I think we've got some really strong leaders, and I think they'll be able to help me create a foundation so that we can grow profitably, and kind of move Region 3 to the next tier, so to speak.
Good. Well, we'll get into all that for sure, but I want to back up for a minute first and talk a little bit about your career. I'm not sure how long you've been with Alsco, but I know you had industry experience prior to that. So kind of walk us through how you got here today.
So 31 years in the industry. Okay. I've worked for two prior competitors. One of them I spent 24 years with G&K Services. Mm-hmm. And I was a general manager with G&K for the majority of that time, although I held lots of different roles leading up to the general manager position.
And Is that all in Texas or no? Did you?
It was all in Texas.
It was all in Texas.
Sure
okay.
was. A couple of cities throughout,
sure.
But all in the great state of Texas. And then in 2017, we got purchased, of course, by Cintas, and had a nice run with Cintas as a general manager for them for about three and a half years. I decided to leave the industry in 2020, which, looing back, it was a pretty good year to check out of the business world for a while.
Was it during the pandemic, or was it in that January, February, early March timeframe?
I literally said, I think I'm going to retire. And so made my announcement to Cintas. They kept me on for a handful of months trying to find my replacement. Sure. And my last day with Cintas was February the 14th, 2020.
Gosh.
My Valentine's Day gift. And, being in a very fast-paced organization, fast-paced industry for a very long period of my life, more than half of my life at that point, waking up the next day thinking, man, I really, really wanted this. It was nice for a little while, but then once I caught my breath after a couple of months, started thinking, okay, I can only play so much pickleball.
Right. And probably none at that point because of COVID. So
no, we played a lot of pickleball.
Oh, okay.
Played a lot of pickleball until my knee sore. I literally played every day. And I'm not that good at golf. And then I had a fellow by the name of Pelham Chastain that contacted me, said, man, you're way too young to retire. We got this great organization that I work for named Alsco. You got to come check it out. And he worked on me for a while, but long story short, I came on board here in late February of 21. So I was out for about a year, and have been with the Alsco organization for about 4.5 years now.
Okay.
He didn't have a general manager position for me, but he'd said, hey, we've got some things going on. I'm going to plant you in healthcare for a handful of months, let you better understand the healthcare business, because up until that point, all of my experience has been on the industrial side.
Yeah.
And so was at the healthcare facility, Health Assure, there in Houston, for a handful of months before the opportunity at Houston West presented itself, where I took over for Mr. Andrew Steiner.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so you were general manager at Houston West then for 3-4-ish years?
About 3.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so that then gave you exposure to the F&B side of it as well.
Yes.
So I imagine that, even, and I'm hoping this was interesting and exciting to you, like after being in the industry even for so long, there's still so much more to learn, right? And then this new role would level that up again. But how did you kind of take to the food and beverage piece of it? Did it boggle your mind a little bit?
Oh wow! I came in with a swagger. I mean,
Yeah.
I felt like, okay, I've conquered this route business.
Right.
I've run successful businesses for Cintas and G&K. Look out,
Right.
And I was brought to my knees. I was humbled by this food and beverage
Yeah.
business, and learned a lot. But fortunately, some of the basics, some of the fundamentals
Sure.
that I grew up with in leading people, I just implemented those things and slowly began to understand F&B, began to understand the much higher sense of urgency that a food and beverage customer has as opposed to an industrial
Right.
customer, which is okay because it kind of fits my nature anyway, because I am just a high-strung, high-urgency kind of guy. And so I began to really enjoy the food and beverage business, and there at Houston West, we were 99.5%
for sure.
F&B, and started aligning the team, establishing rules of engagement, so to speak, around lost business, around the absolute necessity for RSRs to sell
Yeah.
and earn the S in their name. And good things began to happen. Good profitability, good growth. We had a fantastic sales team that was producing very well, and it was a good run. It was a good run before this next opportunity presented itself.
So it probably would have been if you took your new role in February, and this was on the heels of Glenn Teixeira's retirement at the end of 2024. So we were in Q4 at a certain point when you were kind of considering the role or being talked to about the role. What interested you in taking that next step from general manager to regional manager?
Well, I'll tell you. Again, I said I had a swagger. I regained my swagger, by the way, after learning F&B.
Right.
And I felt like that I've got the intangibles to lead teams. And I'd been tested several times in turnaround situations and leading local teams. But what intrigued me about the regional position was, could I take those intangibles and lead general managers and other leaders within their organizations to success.
Right.
Now, I will tell you one of the concerns that Kelly Johnson and I talked about, because I was open with him, and I said, one of my greatest fears is some of these things that made me successful, which is my constant interaction, my day-to-day meetings, my updates, my check-ins, where I'm physically there. Would my intangibles be as impactful on a team that I don't touch as much? And we talked a lot. We talked a lot about that. And I'll tell you, Kelly's a great leader, inspirational leader, and he said the right stuff. And
well, he's gone through that same transition
sure
and transformation as well.
That perspective was very, very valuable, and he shared that with me as well.
And that's kind of one of the questions I have for you, because it is definitely, it's a layer of abstraction, right? So you are not in the branch seeing, touching, doing, telling, showing, whatever. It's a position of influence and persuasion. Yes. So it's very much more nuanced than perhaps what you have been doing in the past. And so I'm curious, A, do you miss field operations, like, being in the branch on a day-to-day basis? And B, or two, I don't really remember if I started with letters or numbers.
It's been a long day.
Yeah, it's such a long day. But kind of talk a little bit about how how are you getting your sea legs in that influence persuasion mode?
Do I miss local leadership? I do. There's certain aspects of it, but I've always been an individual that likes to challenge myself. I'm known with my personal group of friends for doing a lot of crazy physical type challenges, right? And
eating
this,
hot dogs and stuff. The ice bucket challenge.
You look at me, and you're like, yeah, it must be hot dogs. Believe it or not, I like to do physical endurance events.
Okay.
But anyway, flip side of that question was, I believe it was B or maybe it was 2.
Right.
You'd said how is my team? I'll paraphrase.
Yeah.
How is my team receiving me? How is my influence being received? It's been good. It's been good. I'll go back to I've got a great group of leaders, and I think that it's easier for me because they know that I've been there in their shoes.
Right.
So I have that. I have their perspective, and not that regional managers can't come in and lead effectively, but
Sure.
it's been
it's a
easier.
different conversation.
It
Yeah,
is.
It's a different conversation.
It's been a lot easier for me because again I've been doing their role for 20 years. I know their trials and tribulations. I know what it's like when equipment goes down right before Mother's Day. I know the things that the service
Or even just the
department goes
frenzy
through.
around building
That's
up
it.
for Mother's Day, you know.
And so, I couldn't be happier with the direction things are going. The only way I could be a lot happier is if those numbers would turn much
Sure.
quicker. I put a lot of pressure on myself to perform. My commitments to Kelly and Jim and the organization as a whole, I take very personally, and it affects me. It affects me. It affects my mood.
Right.
Like any good leader that really takes ownership of their role, I think it should.
Right.
If it didn't, well, I think
Might
we got
be a
might
different
the
conversation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So, but so far, like I said, 5 months in, I'm happy with the direction our team is going. Now, we've got a lot of moves to make in a short period of time, as I'm reminded when I go through these presentations and see some of the challenges that other regions have faced, and then I reflect on my own. And I don't like coming into these quarterly reviews and not talking about wins. So
Sure.
that's going to speed up that whole urgency piece.
Well, I think one way to think about it, though, too, is this, inside of a region, any of our regions, they're all quite large now, both on dollar value, geography, pick a metric, they're large. And so in any given quarter, your eye drops of change going into that. And you have to have the confidence in the long-term view that those eye drops are all going to add up, but you need to be thinking about and looking for wins in a different way, maybe than what you did before. And then one day you're going to wake up and the win is going to be in the column that you actually want it to be in. But if you're never making strides toward it, you're never even going to get there. So talk a little bit about either some of the wins that you have kind of witnessed or participated or seen in the last 5 months, or something that excites you that you think is coming that's going to be a good win.
So I came into the region kind of with my framework of what we wanted to do. I called it the 3 pillars of success for growth. Sales consultants, pricing action, lost business. Those are the 3 that I wanted to focus on. So we'll talk tomorrow about that 4th pillar, which is route sales and route increases, so overall route growth. I'm happy about a great partner that I have in Kathy Marshall on the sales side.
Yep.
We were understaffed, and when I first joined, and she and the regional sales managers, who are also a fantastic group of leaders, they've done a remarkable job of getting our staffing where it needs to be. So I'm proud of that. I looked across the region, and we were all very, very misaligned. Everybody was kind of operating off of their own sheet of music,
Sure.
so to speak. And so looking at a lot of the things they were doing, I tried to bring alignment. Pricing was the focal point. And I looked at the pricing moves that each general manager was making. We've narrowed that down. We've eliminated it. The one that I'm the most proud of is our movement in a short period of time in lost business. And, something that I grew up in this business understanding is you cannot have a successful branch or plant unless you control that lost business. And I've seen lots of branches throughout the years that do a fantastic job selling, but a very, very poor job of holding
It's a
on
shame,
to the
really.
business.
Yeah.
We used to say you got a hole in your bucket.
Right.
You can keep filling up the top, and you got that hole in the bucket. It's
Right.
just going to keep falling out. My general manager team, my service manager team, my district manager team, very, very receptive to a couple of things that I have talked about for a lot of years. The way to control lost customers, if you've got a problem, well, even if you don't, the way to hold on to customers is through customer concern urgency, right? And building deep relationships. So what does that mean? That means if a customer calls you, you get out there and address their concern.
Right. You can't get there fast enough,
That's it. And so I think that they've been really receptive to that. The other thing is building deep relationships, right? Not the check the box, hey, I got to come by because I got to satisfy my service manager who's beating on me because I've got to have 100% customer visits for the quarter. But relationships where you sit down, have a conversation with them about the challenges within their restaurant or within their place of business, and then connect with them at a deeper level so that they begin looking at you as a partner as opposed to just a supplier. Right. And when we have those types of relationships and we act with urgency to customer concerns, Dana, very rarely will a customer leave us. If they've got a competitor that comes in and offers very low pricing, if you've got that relationship, 99% of the time, they're going to bring you in and say, hey, brother, we need to talk. You're fantastic, but is there anything you can do for me?
Right.
And throughout my 3 decades in this business, that has happened time and time again. And if you're that partner and you have that partnership with your customer, you can sometimes have a tough conversation and say, man, I love you, but your pricing is
here's what you might
cheap,
not
man.
understand about this.
That's
yeah,
it.
That's right.
Or
your service may end up reflecting.
You've been with me for about 10 years, and your prices are up there. I can't match that competitor price, but maybe I can get a little skinnier.
Yeah. And I think sometimes what holds us back from some of that, just from some of what you've said, like this sense of urgency around customer issues. But if we are deep in the operation where everything is about efficiency, speed, doing something quick as a phone call, quick as an email. So I think we're acting with that same mentality, not even meaning to, right? It's just that is what makes it a production environment successful.
Yes.
But to interact and create relationships, you kind of have to slow down a little bit.
Yes.
Even if there's a fire burning back here, we have to talk so calmly, like metaphorical fire.
Right.
Yeah. But we have to talk so calmly, like there's nothing else going on and I have all the time in the day for you.
That's right.
That is, to try to hold that anxiety and sense of urgency down can really be very difficult, but it works.
It does.
It really works. Well, that's pretty exciting. So you have, I'm imagining one of the other shifts or changes or educations perhaps that you've been through in the last several months is California culture, which is largely what you have versus Texas culture. And you've got, outside of California, you've just got
Yuma, Arizona, Las Vegas, St. George, Utah,
and Honolulu.
Good old Honolulu.
And good old Honolulu.
Yeah.
But very different, perhaps, cultural environments than what you were familiar with in Texas. How has that informed your leadership and just kind of what you see in the marketplace?
Much tougher to do business in California, we all know. Mainly because of just everything's more expensive, right? Including wages, including costs for utilities. But from a people perspective, at least the people within Allsco, I don't see a difference. They're motivated by the same things. They love the same way. They laugh the same way. They get excited about the same things. Dana, I'll tell you in all honesty, culturally, politically, it hasn't made one iota of difference on my leadership style or approach, and that was by design. I went in, as I said, thinking, I'm not going to do anything different. Tim Stever gave me the best advice ever. He said, Russ, I don't want you to change a thing. You've been successful. You know how to lead large teams. Be yourself.
Right.
And so I took that to heart, and that's what I'm going to do.
And you'll know when change is required. You've got that experience behind you too.
Yes.
So that's really good to hear. Well, soon you will have kind of a full season under your belt. You'll get to go through the CapEx planning process at that regional level. You'll
She gets here quick.
get to go through the
Every time.
budgeting process at the regional level, and then kind of start 2026 off with the way you've told the story rather than the story that you got handed. So that's going to be really exciting to watch. I appreciate your time.
I appreciate you.
That's all for today's episode of the It Pays to Keep Clean podcast. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the world of Alsco uniforms, where we explore the growth and challenges in our industry. Tune in next time for more industry insights, growth strategies, and tales from the field. If you've enjoyed our time together, please leave us a rating and review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. If you want to learn more about our services, visit us at alsco.com. From all of us here at the It Pays to Keep Clean podcast and Alsco Uniforms, thank you for listening. Stay safe, stay clean, and we'll see you in the next episode.